Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is good morning somewhere. I almost said good morning, but it is afternoon for me because I'm Central Daylight Time, and today is Thursday, and today is interview day, as you well know. So let's take care of some of the housekeeping. If you are joining us live, in the comment, hashtag live. And if you're just watching the replay, how about hashtag replay? Also, tell us where you're coming from. We love to know where people are coming from. I, as you know, am coming from Mexico. I'm coming in here to you from Mexico, and we will ask my guest, Rosa, where she is from when she joins us in a minute. Also, if you would like to comment, there is a strip above that says StreamYard, Facebook. All right, you must allow Facebook, not Facebook, but StreamYard to use your name. And so give them permission if you want to comment. And if you just want to react, or then, it's either a thumbs up, but you know what we prefer? We prefer a lot of hearts. We love hearts. And so does Facebook. Okay. So the usual thing is for me to tell my audience, you, how my guests and I met. Now, we actually met in a Facebook group. That's really how we first met. But then I found out, talking to my guests, that we had both joined the KBB in 2019. KBB, those of you who follow me know that K means knowledge, B means business, the other B means blueprint. It's the knowledge blueprint, but business blueprint. And it's the legacy movement that Tony Robbins, together with Dean Graziosi, started in 2019. And the whole idea there was to start a movement. Self-education is the new norm. Well, let me tell you, it's become a revolution. And my guest and I met in the SER, which is the Self-Education Revolution group. Okay, so self-education is becoming the new norm. Now, for me as an educator, it was something that attracted me for sure, because I was in a group with other educators, and we were really looking to how could we change the education system? What can we do to help, because it doesn't serve us anymore. Anyway, so I started my business online, and I got into e-commerce, and I didn't like that at all because I didn't want to work with product. Then I got into learning about funnels. That was too techy for me. And then I got this email from Tony Robbins and Dean telling me about this new legacy, and I just jumped on it. So I just loved that whole idea. So anyway, that's how I got into the KBB program, and so did my guests. So the nice thing about that is that the next year, 2020, they improved. They did the next level of the KBB, and it was called the Program Next. And we'll talk about that with our guests for a little bit. So without any further ado, let me bring in my guest, Rosa Rodriguez. Hello, Rosa. How are you?
Hi, Lucy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. You and I have something else in common. I just remembered. Your first name is Rosa, and my family name
Your
is
last name,
Rosa.
Rand. Yes, that's right.
You two, we have that in common. So tell me, I just kind of explained how I came to the KBB program. You did too. Can you tell me how you came about to join this program?
Yeah, and so back in 2019 when we both joined, right? It
Mhm.
was like that big launch that they did. It was maybe
Exactly.
150,000 people, something like that, right? And I've always been a fan of Tony Robbins. I knew I had seen Dean, in some places online, but wasn't really like following him like that. But I joined the launch and saw the whole, the everything they were talking about, and made so much sense to me. At the time, I had been actually pregnant with my now 2-year old. So I was just looking for something to help me get out of my 9 to 5, get out of the corporate world. I was just, I had started kind of sharing and growing my Instagram account for a few years as a hobby, basically just sharing like inspirational things, and had attracted like my the same I had attracted moms that were looking also for inspiration. So when I saw the opportunity, I said, oh well, KBB sounds like something that I'm going to be able to take this hobby that I have, that I'm sharing information right now, and
Mhm.
make it into probably a full-time job. So I took the course, I finished it, I think, after I gave birth. Then I gave birth to my son in May, and that was like that same month.
Right. Thank you.
So I took, maybe a month or two off, and then finished the course in, I think it was in August. So, the first couple of months are just like baby focus and everything. But I actually finished it, and then after that, I started like sharing more information and coaching people. It was a bit most of it was like on mindset, because I had been recovering myself from like mental health issues that I had throughout my pregnancy, and even postpartum. So I shared my story on the group, and you know how the group is, like, very supportive. Everyone was super supportive of me, and I just started meeting people, um, and being open to meeting people. Like, when we talk to each other,
Right.
a lot of people would, when they receive messages, are kind of closed off, like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not sure.
Right.
So, I kind of opened myself up, and got past a very, like, always had been like an introverted, very shy, and then started like going live and doing things like this.
Wow.
Yeah, so so started meeting people, meeting new moms and things like that. I met a coach who also was part of the KBB launch. So he kind of took like my wanting to take it into a serious course and a serious program, to actually launching my coaching program. And after I had grown my Instagram account to 13,000 followers there, he said, hey, this is something that moms who are starting their business would also be interested in. So you can start, creating a coaching program around that, because people know you for that.
Exactly.
And when Dean says, like, what is the thing that people know you by, and that should be your dot. Even if something, even if it doesn't stay that way forever, you can start out that way and focus on that, and continue helping people that way, until then you can evolve with your business. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm doing now.
That is
And then we
amazing.
met.
That is amazing, because you and I went different ways. So you took the KBB program, you bought into it, you did the
Mhm.
course, and also in the back of your mind, because you were pregnant at the time, you were going to have your baby, and you thought,
Right.
okay, it's my opportunity to leave what, corporate America, is that what
Corporate.
you want?
Yep.
And we'll talk bit about that, and I'm going to start doing a business of my own, and so
Right.
wheels were turning for you.
Yes,
And so
yes.
it was an opportune time that KBB came to you. So you took
Yeah,
the course, you prepared your own course, and all of a sudden, because I went a different way. I didn't have anything that I thought I could offer people, but I loved the program, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to take this program, and I'm going to promote this program to older
yes,
people, because this is a good way for them to get into the online business. So I
yeah,
became the affiliate, what they call affiliate digital marketer, and that's what I did with it. But
yes,
you went a different way. Now, tell me why Instagram, because you went from zero to, you just said it, 13,000. Why
yeah.
Instagram? Is it your generation?
So yes, my ideal client is mostly on Instagram, and I had when the program when I joined KBB, I had already about 10,000 followers at
Oh,
the
okay.
time. So in just kind of like sharing my thoughts,
Mhm.
sharing inspiration and things like that. When I joined KBB, I said, why, I did join and started sharing on Facebook, but not as much because most of my people were already there on Instagram. And, it was like a bigger impact doing it from there. So yes, now I am with my coaching program, I am doing both.
Okay.
So you'll see me share on both.
Yeah, it's interesting because you said most of my people.
Yeah.
Are we talking about, we're talking about, now when we talk about my people, I know that Dean describes it as your dot, your niche.
Yes, my
So,
niche.
you had already discovered your niche. And that was, I just want to make sure that you reiterate who your niche is. Is it
Yeah, and not my niche. I would say my ideal customer, my
okay?
client, my customer avatar, my
The
ideal
avatar,
client,
right?
right? So that person that I described myself, this is who I'm serving. That
Yes.
person was on Instagram, a certain age, moms and who, are doing certain things.
So
So
moms of a certain age, can we define the age? Because moms can be, 17
yes.
something.
So my specific client is a mom who is a coach,
Okay,
and at about 35 years old, 35 to 40.
okay,
So that range, and mostly is advertising their business on Instagram,
okay.
or is on Facebook but wants to start on Instagram. So either way, yeah, I also advertise on Facebook for those who want to start then using the platform and
Instagram.
and growing on Instagram now.
Right.
So
Now,
yes.
Dean and Tony, I don't know so much about Tony, but I know that Dean is a proponent of one, the power of one. You stick to one platform. Of
Yeah.
course, my avatar, if I'm going to talk about my avatar, we are the baby boomers. We are on Facebook. The
Yes.
younger generation is Instagram, and the even
Yes.
younger generation on TikTok. And I mean, we can go on and on and on
Yeah.
because there's a platform for everybody. So, but the interesting thing here that you talk about is that you were on Instagram even before the KBB thing. What were you doing there?
Yeah. So I was just basically doing mindset and inspirational, yeah, sharing quotes and things like
Quotes.
that, just to help people that I thought were going through the same thing that I was going through.
Okay.
And it was basically a hobby for me at the time. It wasn't making any money. I was just like, kind of like helping people, coaching people for free, giving, free sessions and things like that. I was actually growing an email list by doing some free sharing some free documents and things like that, but never actually got to like a paid program until after the KBB course.
Okay, so how did you go? How did you get to? Okay, so you took the course, you paid for the course, and you then said, because I heard you say you got a coach from the
Yeah,
KBB. First of all,
from the KBB group.
I
Yeah.
want to explain to the audience when you said the group. Rosa is referring to the KBB Facebook group. That is a private group for anybody who bought into the program and
Right.
who did the course, and the group is still there. It has
Yeah, it's
thousands
still
and
growing.
thousands.
Right.
It's still growing,
Yeah.
even though they've taken that KBB and gone to the next level. Now
Yeah.
there's another
Right. Another
group.
course.
Yes,
Yeah.
another group. So tell me, when how did the coach saw you? He saw,
Mhm.
he obviously saw you on Instagram. So he approached you and says, "Oh, you know what? What did he say?"
Yeah, you know what? I had actually, like I said, we joined KBB together. So he joined at the same time as you and I did.
But you didn't know.
Um, but I didn't know him. I had seen him because the group was much smaller at the
Okay.
beginning, right? So I had seen him sharing videos. I had seen him sharing, helping people. I had seen him sharing success stories from his clients.
Right.
He was already taking clients right away because people were just approaching him,
Right.
because he was sharing so much information. He was just sharing free information, free value for the group. So he became known inside of the group. He became known as like he's the guy that helps people when they're confused.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
so so I had been actually following him for like a year before he I just like liking his posts, liking some of his stories that he shared. And then, he must have been like, I let me see if she needs my help.
Right.
So he messaged me like, hey, like how are you doing? What are you up to? And I said, hey, I'm trying to do this thing. I'm trying to launch this thing, but I'm not sure how. And he's like, "Oh, maybe I can help you with that." And then I was like, "Yeah, I think it's time for me to, take another like leap of faith because obviously you have to invest in yourself further to get a
Mhm.
coach."
Absolutely.
Um, and it was worth it because then I started actually then making that making my investment back and actually feeling like, hey, this is a real thing. I am actually helping people and getting paid for it. So it
Yeah.
was like my energy is paying off.
That is so cool. That is so cool, Rosa, because, I personally believe that coaches should have coaches.
Yes,
You
yes,
need almost, in today's world, you almost need a coach for everything, for your health,
yes.
for your wealth, for your,
Oh
your
my God,
vocation,
for
for
everything.
your relationships, we need
Yes,
help. We need help because we're such busy people. And,
yeah,
we tend to see things one way. So we need the perspective from,
yeah,
from a coach who's
yes,
going to say, you know what, I understand you. Let me help you. And I'll take
yeah.
you where you want to go.
Right, like I did that. I can show you how I did it, and then you can do what I did.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So
and Dean talks about that a lot, like if you have, if you can invest in yourself, that's the easiest way to get to where you want to go, then do it.
right. I just want to pause for a minute here. We have a comment from Flor Marcus, who's also, she says, I'm a KBB too. KBB beers are all over the place. And now
Yes,
she's also in the SER community, which is the self education revolution, because that
yes,
movement has become a revolution.
huge.
Actually, when they launched the second time, which was 2020, their whole objective was to have 1 million people. How close did
Wow.
they come to it, Rosa? They came
Yes,
like eight and a half thousand or 800,000.
800,000. Yeah,
Eight
wow.
hundred thousand plus. They
Yeah,
almost got there, and that he's going to Dean is never going to stop. He's just going to go
right.
on and on and on. And
Yes,
so Flor says, she appreciates all of us and our community, and we do feel that way. All of us
yes,
feel that way. Thank you, Flor, for reminding us that we do appreciate our groups. We do appreciate our communities
yeah,
because they're like-minded people,
yes, yep,
and and
absolutely.
and we all kind of know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. It can be really lonely. You have to do the job by yourself, but you know what? You don't have to be all by yourself, you know,
Right. Yeah.
you
No,
know.
and I think that I found, how sometimes when you start something new, you're always wondering, oh, what is my family going to think? What is my closest friends going to think? I start sharing information
Yeah,
about this stuff or, a struggle that I went through, a story that I went through that I had never shared before. And then you wonder, are they going to support me? Are
yeah,
the people closest to me going to support me? But then, it becomes kind of silent and lonely, like you said at the beginning, when you're especially when you're putting yourself out there and
right,
being vulnerable in the
right,
beginning. So it was such a blessing to be able to have, that group of people to support
right,
you in those moments when you feel so like, am I doing the right thing?
right.
Am I sharing too much? Am I sharing too little? Like all of those things. My family's not supporting me. My closest people are not liking my pictures, are not showing up.
Yeah,
But then these strangers, like are showing up for you and are
exactly.
giving you advice. And whenever you have a question, people are answering and people are like offering you help. And all of that was just like, wow.
Why
I
do you
I
think
love it.
that is? Why do you think that is, Rosa? Why? Why? I mean, because
Um,
I've experienced it over and over in all the,
yeah,
the groups, in the KBB group, in the program next group that I also joined, it's love. I mean, they
Yeah.
really care. Why do you think
Yeah.
it is?
You know what? Someone, I heard someone speaking about like how do you gain trust from your people, and I think that you like people and you can connect with people that you can relate to, that you
Right,
have something in common with.
right.
So if you have like, even a struggle that you're going through and someone else is going through the same thing, then you connect on a completely different level.
Absolutely.
And we're on the internet nowadays, and it's just like there's like so much distraction that
I know.
and even outside of the internet, right? That we're just like social distancing, and,
Mhm,
we're
mhm.
lacking that
Yeah,
connection. So
we
I
do.
think
Yeah.
it's I
And
think
that's
we're all in there wanting connection.
that could be it. It's that social connection that we're getting online that we're not getting physically, and still
Yes.
not getting physically. Here we are, October 28th, and we
Oh
still,
my gosh.
we're still kind of in our little bubbles. I mean, I am,
Yeah.
I don't know about
Yes.
you, but I am. So
Same.
yeah. So it's become, and so many people got online, and at first I was a little fearful, but I have to say, and I'm going to repeat it again, I have met some of the nicest people online.
Same. Me
Nice
too.
online. I mean,
Yes.
they're like-minded. They want to succeed. They want to see other people succeed. They want to help you. You know,
Yeah.
and you know what? We are all in business. There is no
Yeah.
business. There's no business without selling. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but here's the great thing. I heard you say it was a hobby, and your hobby became
Hmm.
your passion.
Passion, yes.
You know.
Actually, I wanted to make that hobby something that, like was full time. So I was fearful of, even charging people because
Right.
I think you heard Shika's interview
And we're
on
going to talk.
Saturday, right? That we were just like, we love to give, and we love to give, 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 give. And when it comes to receiving, we just feel kind of uncomfortable when
Yeah, we do. We do.
reciprocating, like, okay, should I be charging for this? But I love doing this,
Right, 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 right. Yeah.
and I had to get past that mental block.
Oh,
So
absolutely. We all really, we all do. It's all
yeah.
it's just part of the progress. Yeah, or the
Yes.
progress, as some people call it. Listen, I
Yeah.
want to go back a little bit because I know that you were pregnant, and during your leave or just before the leave, you were thinking of doing your own business. Can we talk a little bit about your background? Where you First of all, you didn't even tell us where you were coming from. Where are you?
Yeah, that's right.
Where are you right now?
I'm in West Haven, Connecticut, actually. So, the US, so right above where you are. I think we're an hour difference, right?
Exactly.
So here is like it's getting cold, is the all the colors of fall and all of that.
Uh,
So yes, that's where I'm coming from. And then for, corporate America, actually I'm an accountant. I
okay.
graduated from accounting, and I did accounting for about 13 years and in corporate America. And then for some reason, I was just like always like really inclined to teach,
Hmm.
and to help people. So I then, when I saw like coaches and people doing, the whole KBB movement, I just felt so attracted to that, and I then wanted to move on to that. And I saw like, okay, this is an opportunity for me. I'm going on maternity leave. I have a few months. Um, that I'm going to be at home. This is my chance. So I I I I took a chance, and I'm really glad that I did, because that kind of like pushed me into a completely different level. Turned that hobby into like an actual, full-time thing. So, yeah.
So are you telling me that you never, when you had your second child, who's now two, you never went back to
Yeah.
work?
No, I did for a little while,
Mhm.
and then after my coach, after I started with my coach, then I said, here's my chance. I'm actually making it. I have clients now.
Wow.
I'm Even though I'm not like, I'm nowhere near like the place where I'm like replacing my income, but I'm taking it like I'm taking the jump.
Yeah.
I'm doing that because I believe in myself, and I know that I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna continue doing what I've been doing consistently. So
So
yes.
did you have a spouse that or a partner that helped you along the way to support
Yeah.
you?
Yes. So I do have my partner who is my son's dad, my three sons now,
Yeah.
their dad, and he helps out. So
Okay. And he
thankfully,
supports
yeah, he helps out. So I am still, kind of like in doing because I'm like on a medical leave as
you. Okay.
well, still from work. So I have been taking his help, and also, I had saved some money for
Mhm.
during that time that I said I know I'm ready. So I kind of like mentally prepared myself. I said I'm
Yeah.
going to put some savings aside and make sure that I have like, 3 to 4 months ready so that I can then have that time to, that flexibility,
Absolutely.
be able to come out and and not go back.
So I hear two things. You knew that there was something greater for you to do. There was always some teaching that you understood that you wanted to do. So the KBB program came about, and it's like, oh my God, this is my opportunity. And I'm going to
Mhm.
grab it. And then the coach comes along, and now how you? Let's talk a little bit about your business. I think you call it She Who Rises.
Yes.
How did
Yeah.
you come up with that? Is that what I see behind you?
Yeah, I see it right here. So it's SWR, and I started that. That was like the name of my Instagram account when
Yeah.
I started back in 2016, when I started like sharing inspiration and stuff on Instagram. So that I came up with that name because I had lost my dad to cancer right before that, and I had been working in corporate America still, just like not just like going and going and going and just like working, paying the bills and working and paying the bills, not wondering like, is there something else? Is there
Right.
something more? So when that happened to me, when my dad passed, it kind of like shook me, and I felt like at my lowest. So I came up with the name because I felt like I wanted to get back up. So I had fallen and I wanted to rise again. So that was where the name came from. I had been like in a really low place, and I was just like, I need to get myself back up. And I started, like finding inspirational things online, and even though I felt really I was depressed and I had mental health issues, I wanted to like find a way to figure out how to kind of like, how do I say it? Like, eh, find myself, bring myself up from that place
Mhm.
without kind of like, without using antidepressants
Right.
or anything like that. I shared a little bit with you on that, and I found like Dr. Joe Dispenza online,
Mhm.
and I started practicing gratitude. I started, like being very mindful of my thoughts every morning,
Good.
and just like practicing this on a daily basis. And then I was sharing that at the same time. And kind of, people like that it's just like a raw,
Yeah.
unfiltered, thoughts and words. I was just putting it all out there, and that's basically how I attracted all
So
of my
many
people.
people. Yeah, because you were
Yeah.
talking from your heart. I mean,
Yeah.
it was all coming just from natural you, your heart, and the pain you were feeling, and
Yeah.
the depression that you were in, and how you wanted to rise. Now, would you say that that title still is a good title for you today?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And my partners always says, "So are you going?" Because I have recently rebranded it and
Mhm.
changed it to "I am Rosa Rodriguez." So he says, "Is She Who Rises still part of you?" And I'm like, it's always going to be part of me.
Yeah.
So I still have like, that I still when I share things, I share it from that same, from that place that I'm always looking to rise. I'm always
Right.
looking to grow. I'm always looking to, come up in some way. So
And
yeah.
really, when you think about it, if you want to manifest your dream, you need to get to that vibration,
Yeah.
of being where the wish it has been fulfilled. I mean, that's
Yeah.
where you need to be. So you're always having to kind of rise, get to that vibration.
Yes,
So it's
that's
perfect.
right.
It's perfect.
That's right. I think on a daily basis, probably, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because if we do not have that daily mindset,
Right.
the world, for me, the world is chaotic, you know.
Yes. That's right. I think, before we went live, I was sharing how, some days, yeah, and I have a 2-year-old. So some days, he has a great night's sleep, and I wake up and I could be like, you know what, I'm really tired. I don't want to do this today, but I still have to mentally prepare myself and say, you know what? Yes, you can,
Yeah,
because you're powerful, and continue to say all those words that I
exactly.
need to bring myself back up, to rise again, and be in that frequency, like you said,
Yeah,
to be able to manifest the things that I want to come
that
to
you
me,
want.
because that's where they are. They're
And
not
not
down
only
here.
and not only that, now you have a follow-up. Now you have clients who are depending on you,
Right.
and they're looking for you to be rising all the time, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And people relate to you. I share my struggles all of the time, and I
Mhm.
talk about, like I have a toddler, and I have my business, and
Absolutely.
and all of these things. And I think them seeing it's good to share that
Yeah.
people don't want to see perfection.
No,
People don't want to see that, like, they can't relate to you. So they want to see that you do have some struggles, but also share, like, how you plan on going about that, how you plan on getting out of that, right? So that they also have, like, hope of, when they go through it, they can get out of it too. So
absolutely. And
yeah.
mourning the mom who's not been a mom or is about to be a mom, here's what could happen. And it's like, oh my God, this is what Rosa was talking about.
Yeah.
Listen, Rosa, I understand, and I know for sure that you are fully pregnant now, and when
Yeah, that's
you're,
right.
you're expecting your third child, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm actually 8 months pregnant right now.
Wow,
Yeah, I don't know if I can show my belly a little bit, but
absolutely. Oh, beautiful.
there you go.
Oh, wow. That is
So
so beautiful.
fully
Hmm.
pregnant, and I'm due in December. So at the beginning of December. So I am getting ready also for that. My one-on-one coaching, I'm doing that now, and I already said, I'm going to take a little break in December. I have to be easy on myself, patient with myself,
Absolutely.
and also thinking about what's next for my business. How can my business evolve so that I don't have to. I always say, I don't want to create a business, that a life around my business, but a business around my life. So that's
Exactly.
so that's what I'm working on. And I do teach the same thing to my clients, like, hey, the best strategy the best strategy for you is whatever works for you and your lifestyle.
Right.
So, that I think that's in on Instagram, you see a lot of people teach strategies, and this is how you're supposed to grow. You're supposed to do all of these things, but I kind of like do it around, a busy mom, a mom that has like all these things to do, and then also try to grow on Instagram and grow their business and find paid
Right.
clients and all the
Right.
things. So I try to personalize to the person, to whoever, the mom,
Yeah.
and say, whatever strategy works for you, that's the one we're going to follow. That's
Absolutely.
the schedule we're going to do.
And that's really what one-on-one really means. It's
Yeah.
customizing. It's
Yes.
customizing. And not only that, but one-on-one can be really tiring. Do you do any group
Yeah.
coaching at all?
So that's the plan. I
That's the
do
plan.
have a group. I have a group of, that probably about 30 something moms, and they're not, like, currently they're not clients, but they are, just learning from me. I do like I do trainings every week, and including my paid clients who are there, who are in the same group, they learn from the things that I share. But the plan is to have like a paid group just for my clients, where they can, they can interact
Right.
and have kind of like a Zoom call with them every week. So yeah, that's where my business is going right now. I'm doing a lot of one-on-one helping, making sure that the people that I'm helping get results, right?
Yeah.
And that they're growing. So
And you are practicing. You are practicing. Now, I just want, we have another person who just joined us. Sally says, God bless you, Rosa, and the baby.
thank you. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
So
Yes.
I have a question for you. You make a bold statement, Rosa. I help mom coaches. I help
Hmm.
mom coaches grow
Yes.
their coaching business using Instagram and Facebook to help them get paid clients using my 90-day program. Okay.
Right. Right.
Now, how do you do that? How can you guarantee? I mean, there's never any guarantee,
Right.
but can you guarantee, for example, a mom coach that she's going to get paid clients in 90 days? I mean, how do you do that?
So I always say, if you do the things right that I'm telling you, that these are the things that you should be doing, and that's how I started getting paid clients.
Okay.
These things will get you paid clients. It
Okay.
will get, so you have to be consistent. That's like the biggest word. You have to
Consistent.
be consistent, right? So if you're consistent, and if you are like continuously building relationships and talking to people, you're going to find people that need your help. And if you offer it, because some of us are shy of making the offer,
Uh-huh.
if you offer it consistently, then you are going to find those paid clients. And it may not, sorry, it's not going to take 90 days. It's going to take you, like it can take you 30 days. It can take you 60 days. So I say 90 days because I want to see the progress of, their account growing, like, into whatever they, because a lot of people really value like having followers. And I say, yes, it's great to have followers, but it's more important to have customers.
Exactly. Exactly. There's no business without customers, you know,
Right.
and there's no business without selling. But you know what? I love Dean Graciosi's approach. You know,
Yes.
if you have something, a message that is important to people, then you are doing them a disservice by not selling
By
this to
not
them.
selling to them. Yes.
You know, so see it as a disservice that
Yes.
if you're not selling what you have that's so valuable to help impact else's life, then you are
Hmm.
doing yourself and them a disservice, you know?
Yes, exactly. And showing up like this, doing lives,
Yeah.
doing lives on Instagram if that's where you want to be growing, giving value in groups, all of those things will get people to look to find you, to look at you and say, this is a genuine person. And I happen to need help with, such and such thing. Why not get with her, or why not interact with her
Right.
and get her to help me? A lot of people just want to be able to get help from someone that they can connect with, that that
Absolutely.
makes them
Somebody
feel
who's
like,
been through it too,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
experience. And that's
and
what
that they understand their
exactly.
struggle. Right.
Exactly. You know,
So
you touched two great little nerves here because I'm just in the throes of doing a 3-day go live challenge. And it's to
yes.
help those people who are not comfortable doing go live, you know, being
Yes.
live in front of the camera. Now,
Yes.
and I find that you can't have a business without doing that. Right.
Right.
So tell me why
Right. Yeah.
going live either on Instagram or on Facebook is so important, or why you feel, or why you have found why it's so important.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so important. I think for two reasons. Number one, because want you want to gain confidence for
Okay.
yourself.
Mhm.
So the only way to gain confidence and the only way to do it is by, like doing it, by
Doing it.
actually showing up. So a lot of people ask like, hey, how do I gain confidence on camera? And my response is like, well, you have to show up on camera.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true.
um, and you have to do it consistently, just like Tony always, like with his programs, that he always talks about facing the fear and facing it like consistently, slowly. You don't have to like jump in and do
Yeah,
it every single day, but do it. I always teach my clients to get on stories, stories, record their face on stories
exactly.
and do that on, yeah, I start off with like twice a week, and then we increase it to like 3 times a week. And then I start having them go live once every 2 weeks, and then they start going live once every week. So it's
Wonderful.
like increasing. Yeah, so it's like start off with stories, because that's how I did it, right? So I would be nervous just to record a story and
Right.
and record my face on a story. So I said, okay, that is already making me uncomfortable. Let's get past that discomfort first. And
Yeah, I'm laughing because, and I'll tell you in a minute why I'm laughing. Go ahead.
so I said, okay, let me get past the story discomfort and then go live. So I did that for, I think I committed myself to go to doing a story every single day for 30 days.
Wow.
And then every single day in the morning. And I sometimes I would be there like 20 to 30 minutes recording and re-recording the story, because I was just like, this is horrible. This is horrible.
So when you talk about story, it's not necessarily your story. It could be a little story that happened that day, and you make
No,
a little
right.
story out of it. It's the
Exactly.
beginning, it's the middle, and it's the end of the story, basically, right?
Yeah, so the stories, when you're on Facebook, there's stories now. They also have stories
Yeah.
on Instagram. So it's like whatever you're doing during the day that you could just share, like, hey, what I was doing was like I would get on every morning and think of like what inspirational thing I could share, a quote or something. And then I would say like, okay, or everyone just have a great day or whatever. And then she'll make like kind of force myself to do that every morning. And then after a few days, then I was like, okay, I feel like I can go live. So then I went live. I went live one time. And then going live with a person is also a little bit easier than doing it on your own.
Always interviews.
Um, so interview style, and then it just got easier for me after a while, and the easier it gets for you, the more like genuine and the more your personality comes through the
Right,
camera. So
right,
that's really important, because the second thing is that people are looking for that connection, and they're looking for that authenticity, and they're looking to see you live. So I think that's a great way to connect with your audience, and it's a great way to teach, like educate on a certain topic. If you want
right,
to do it
right.
quickly and you're just like, okay, I'm going to go live and I'm going to talk about such and such topic.
Right.
So yeah, those are two things.
Thank you so much, because it confirms what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I created a little Facebook group for my group so that they could just, a sacred place, so they could just go do lives and make fumble and do whatever, and and so it's just to get into the habit, to build the confidence, and any habit takes at least 21 days. We know,
Yeah,
at least.
absolutely.
And so,
Yeah.
but the other thing that I love that you said, and I don't want to forget, actually, I'm going to talk about this first. You said you were an accountant. Do you know how
Yeah.
lucky, do you know how lucky you are that you have that business background?
Right,
Your
right.
business. Well, most people like me, we get into business and it's like, oh my God, the money's
What
coming
do
in.
I do?
What do I do with it? What do I do? How do I pay my tax? Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know how lucky you are? I mean, really.
Yeah, thank you. I was just like, well, I guess this is convenient, right? Because I'm now that I'm making money, and I'm like, okay, now there comes the IRS and all of these
I know what
things.
to do. I know what
I
to
know
do.
what to do, right? Right, because I had been dealing with that for so many years. So yeah, it definitely comes in handy.
Because, we who get into business, we never think about it until the money starts to flow in. Then we have to pay taxes.
Right, and you're like,
Oh my God, I
oh,
didn't even collect my bills, and
right,
or my
yeah,
expenses.
yeah. I didn't track that. What was the thing that I
I
spent?
know, I know. It's just unbelievable. So
Yeah.
you are blessed. Really, the universe just kind of directed you in so many different ways.
Oh
I
yeah.
just love those stories. I just love to watch. I love to watch how infinite intelligence does it. I'm
Oh
in
my
awe.
God.
I'm in awe. I'm always
Yeah.
noticing with people's
I
stories.
love it.
You
Yeah,
know?
and you find yourself, like for example, I found myself this week. I did a challenge with Myron Golden, and I don't know if you've heard of him, but
Mhm.
so he's amazing, and he uses kind of like Bible teachings to teach you about like sales and business.
Mhm.
So I was just like, wow, I'm in a Zoom call with this guy I admire so much, and I it was because I like took the chance to like, you know what, let me do this. And let me just find myself in this group and see what happens. And then from there, like I met other people who said, oh, let's get into a mixer and get on a Zoom call together.
Right.
And I was just like, yeah, let's do it. So I was open also to that, and open to like talking to people who were just like-minded, right, like we said. So I think that's very important to be open to those opportunities,
Yeah.
because you can miss them and it's like
You know,
gone.
it's the other thing I wanted to touch upon that mentioned you because you mentioned it earlier too. I was always open to everything. I didn't say no,
Yeah,
even though people said, "Oh no, maybe you shouldn't talk to this." But to be
yeah,
open because you don't know because your thoughts are out there, and
yeah,
there's that infinite intelligence. You've got to allow. You've got to be open minded. You've got to allow things
yeah.
because the opportunities will come to you, you know,
That's right. That's
because
right.
we are meant to be abundant. We're meant to be rich. We're meant to be happy. We're meant to have
Yes,
joy.
yes.
I mean,
That's yes, that's so true. And like you said, we put it out there. We ask for it,
yeah,
and the things come, but we don't know exactly how they're going to come.
right,
So
right.
we have to be open to receiving the things that come, and paying attention to the synchronicities, right? The coincidence that happen.
It reminds me, and I don't want to take too much time, but it reminds me of that story of the guy, and the flood came, and he stayed in his,
Yeah,
you
in the
you heard
boat.
the story? In the boat, and then he climbs
Yes.
up to the second story, and a boat comes by, and they say, "Come on, come on, come on," and he said, "No, no, no," and goes
No,
to the
no,
top
no.
3 times, and then he drowns, and he says, "Lord, why didn't you come and help me?" He
Why
says,
didn't you save me?
I sent you
Right. I
three
sent you three
opportunities."
things.
But you know what? You close the door to each every one of them. That's why.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Right. Yes.
You
And
close.
we are I think everyone, the word sales, like people like cringe
Yeah,
when they're like sales. Oh my God, I don't want to be salesy. I
yeah,
I don't want to be salesy to anybody. And then at the same time, it's just like, well, you are going to have to, if you want to stay in business, you have to sell, right?
right, right,
So a lot of people get like closed off when someone approaches them,
right.
like I see a lot of people complain about that, like, oh, there was so many coaches trying to help me, or like offering me their programs, and I'm like, but maybe the way I take it is like, let me see how they're doing it, let me see how the conversation starts, and
Right.
I can learn from that. Like I can learn from the message that he sent me. Maybe that's how or maybe I can take what he did and switch it up a little bit and learn from his sales tactics that he
Right.
was trying to sell me, and make it my own, and figure out how it works for me. So I'm open to hearing coaches, or letting them sell to me, because I'm just like,
Me
yeah,
too.
I'm
Yeah.
also selling, so why not learn from that?
Yeah. And Dean Graziosi tells us that all the time. Learn from
Yes.
what I'm doing. Pay
Yeah.
attention to what I'm doing. Mimic me. Mimic
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Listen.
and that's great. I think that everyone is selling. Even if you're in a job, you're
Yeah.
to get another job, you're selling, your
That's
skills.
you're
So
always well, you're selling yourself all the time. You sell
yeah,
yourself in a relationship. You sell
right.
yourself before you get married. You sell, always
I'm
selling yourself.
selling myself to my toddler so that he can eat.
So he loves mommy and listens to mommy and says,
Right.
if
Exactly.
Well, listen, I'm
So,
enjoying this conversation so much, and there's so much I want to ask you, but I don't like the interviews to go on too long, and we're approaching the hour. But and I know that what I love the most in your Instagram. Well, I love everything that you do, but you're fabulous for your reels, and I'm just going
oh
to have to
yes.
let that go and ask you how people can connect with you if they want, because you've got so much to offer. Now, in the tickler down below, it says, contact Rose Rodriguez by email, and that would be Rosa at
Yeah.
shewhorises.com,
.com.
or Instagram, I am Rosa Rodriguez. Make sure that
Yes.
you spell her name properly. Rosa,
Yes.
I
I
am
am Rosa Rodriguez.
and you say so beautifully. It just rolls off
Thank
the tongue.
you. Rosa
So,
Rodriguez.
so I know that you're famous for reels. I mean, you are so entertaining. So I want everybody to go to your Instagram and see how entertaining you are. Uh, and I've asked you about those reels, and I want to be able to do those. I mean,
Yes.
you need to give a class on that, and
Yes.
I'd be
Oh
the
my
first
God.
one.
Yeah.
I'd be the first one taking your class because I
Yes.
love those too much. They're so entertaining.
Oh, thank
When did you
you.
get into those?
I love it. I Instagram launched Reels about a year ago, a
Mhm.
year or so ago, and at the beginning I was just like, "Oh my God, how do I do this? Is this like TikTok? And am I supposed to
Yeah,
dance?
yeah.
Am I
You're
supposed?"
supposed to
And
dance.
I'm like, "I'm not dancing. If this involves dancing, I am not the one. I'm not that type. I'm not that type." So
Yeah,
then I was just like, okay, so let me start talking. So I started doing reels of just me talking and just sharing my words, right? So I was like, okay, I'll do the caption thing and I'll do the 30-second reel. This is my reel, you guys. I'm not using any sound, any music, none of that. So then I really didn't know how to do the caption. You know how people start pointing and all of that. I
yeah.
said, I'm not pointing. I'm not
Because I'm pointing in
pointing.
the wrong direction.
Because yeah, so then I started doing it in any way that I could. And then eventually, after I did it maybe for like a month or two, then I was like, oh, let me explore the different options. Let me see if I can point. Let me see if I can find different sounds. So then I started finding like trending sounds and things that were like were funny to me and that I could use to like deliver
Message.
my message,
Yeah.
right? So I I started getting more views and more views, and then also started enjoying it myself. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
I
So
love it.
then I don't want to stop. So
Now
I
you're having fun doing this.
yeah, so now I'm having fun and I'm like teaching, the things that I want to teach through reels. So it's like when somebody sees a reel, they kind of like it catches their attention. So like, we talked about a reel can be your hook
Yeah.
of like here somebody scrolls through these reels and they're like, oh, like that's funny, let me check her out, and they go check out your profile and all of that. But yeah, I'm having lots of fun with it, and I feel like your business, your journey should be fun.
Fun.
You should enjoy it. And
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
we're like, we forget like our inner child.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I feel like I'm bringing her out to play, and
That's great.
also teaching people in the process. So I really like it.
I just want to say one thing, because I'm thinking about my generation. We talk about reels. The word is REEL. Real.
Yes,
Real. It's
real.
and I never understood where that word came from, and why are they
Hmm.
calling it reels when it really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know even know where it originated from. Do you?
Um, I think it's like a little like a short piece of a movie type. So
Okay.
you know how they do like what is it called? A trailer for a
Yes. Yeah.
movie
Mhm.
that is like maybe 2 minutes
Yeah.
long. This is like a shorter version of that.
Okay.
So it came from that, is like a scene, like
I
a,
see.
a scene of a movie or something, that's a reel. So but it came from like, TikTok, and had the name of the actual, app, and then everybody started calling it TikToks,
Okay.
right? So then Instagram wanted to bring the same thing, so they probably like, okay, let's
Let's
call
call
it
it
something
something.
different.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you for that explanation, because it's such a weird word. And I thought, at
Yeah.
first when I heard it, I thought, what are they saying?
What?
Are they saying wheel or real?
Real? Like it's real? Is it
Yeah.
real?
I had no idea, but now I know what it is. And I know,
Yeah.
oh, look, that's a real. Oh, look how
That's a
cool that is.
real. Yes. Yes.
So are you up for hiring for reels?
Oh my God. I love sharing it, and I teach my clients because reels really do have, like, because they're so new, they have like
Right.
2.5, they are 2.5 more visible than any other post on Instagram.
Well,
So
I'd love to invite you to my Facebook group to just give us a 10-minute.
yeah,
Are you open to
absolutely.
that?
Absolutely.
Oh, great. So let's talk
I'm
about
yes,
that.
we could, yeah, let's talk about it. I would love to.
Oh my God, I know you're busy. First, you have to have your child, and because you have to pay attention to yourself, you have to make
Yes.
sure keep your glass full because it's almost
Oh yes.
impossible to share unless you have.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm getting to the slow, I'm slowing down really in
Mhm.
in the past few days. I'm just like, okay, when I talk, I'm just, you hear me like catching my breath.
I know,
So I'm like, yes, I need to take care of myself and
absolutely,
do it, do everything like with intention. Like,
exactly.
know that I'm also taking care of myself to be able to take care of others.
Absolutely. Otherwise, we can't. Well,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I want to ask you one more thing before we leave. As you know, I do these interviews because I want to show people how it's possible to start a business online if you have a knowledge, if you have an expertise. And I want to also show people how many different expertise there are, niches, how
Yeah.
many. And
Yeah.
so, what would you say to that person who wants to start an online business, doesn't know where to start or who to trust?
I always say that when we're starting out, especially if we're like multi-passionate,
Mhm.
like we have so many things that we're just like, I love this, I love that, I want to help so many people. Um, I always say, pick one thing, pick
Yeah,
one thing that you could say it's what I can do, and I can focus on this.
right,
I can live with this. I can help this person, this one person, and I can focus on this one thing for a while.
right,
I can, even suck at it at the beginning
right.
and
Doesn't
be
matter.
okay, and be okay with it, and stay consistent with this
Right,
for and know in the back of, like, as you're doing this, know that you're going to evolve, so that this is not like written in stone. You're going to pick, because you're going to pick a niche, and that's going to be your niche for the rest of your life.
way.
Just know that it's just the time for you right now to pick one thing. I know that you're good at many, many things, but pick one and stick to that for now, and ride with that for a while until you get results.
Exactly.
And then after that, then you can take it anywhere. You can
Anywhere
do
you want.
whatever you want with it. Just keep
Right,
evolving, keep changing it, keep updating it. But for now, at the beginning, stick to one thing and be consistent with it.
right,
And
exactly.
that would be my
Good.
my advice, because I wish I did that from the beginning. Like, stick to that one thing that you're known for. Stick to the thing that you can help someone with, and also be okay with not being so good at it at the beginning,
Right.
knowing that you're going to get better and that you're going to evolve, and it's not written in stone.
Right. And
So
we all have a message within. We all have something to share. And so just go
yeah.
for it.
Yes.
Somebody's out there who needs you, who needs your message. And
Yeah.
just start, just do it. You know,
Yeah, it's more, that's the most important part, making that decision,
right.
and not like, not like waiting around thinking that maybe you're picking the wrong thing. Like,
You'll
just
find
pick
it.
a thing. Yeah.
You'll find the right thing.
Yes, yes,
Rosa, thank
exactly.
you so very much. This is the longest interview. I was having so much fun. I just didn't want to stop. But now,
It didn't feel like an hour.
so thank you, and we will be in touch. Thank you so much for your time. So glad your little 2-year-old still sleeping.
Oh, I'm very surprised.
And I forgot
So,
to turn off my phone, so I had that little
no.
glitch too. So, but that's okay.
No.
So, thank you, and we will definitely be in touch and keep in
Yes.
touch, and for sure. And so, I want to say to my audience, thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, Flor, for commenting. Thank you, Sally, for being here live and commenting. Also, we do appreciate your time and your comments. And if you want to contact Rosa, you have the information, Rosa at shewhorises.com, or just simply go to Instagram and I am Rosa Rodriguez. Hashtag I am Rosa Rodriguez.
Yes.
So bye, everybody. Remember, next Thursday, we have another awesome interview for you. See you then. Okay, bye,
Bye.
everyone. Okay.